Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kezia. If you're new here, welcome. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I share basic academic content that will help you to achieve your academic goals. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for subscribing. Today I'm going to share with you the easiest way to write a statement of purpose. One of the frequent questions I get asked is, how do I write my statement of purpose? How do I structure my statement of purpose? I have developed a framework, that's a guideline, to help you write your statement of purpose in the easiest way possible. So you just have to follow these basic guidelines, and everything that is required in your statement of purpose will be covered when you follow these guidelines. Number one is your introduction. In your introduction, you need to write your intent. That's your motivation. You need to introduce yourself to the reviewer. And one of the easiest way to do this is not by writing your name. It's not by writing personal things. I mean, you can decide to write something that happened in your childhood that made you want to pursue a particular career or academic pursuit. Do not get too personal, because if you get too personal, it makes the reader want to drop your SOP and move on to something else. So your introduction needs to have your intent, it needs to have your motivation, it needs to have a hook statement. That's the introductory statement. Sometimes most people write introductory statements like, I had a background in this and that, my grandmother this and that. But these are good introductory statements. But there are some other ways that you can also write your introduction without writing all these cliche statements, because I tell you, the reviewer has seen so many things, they've read so many growing up statements. Sometimes they just want to read something different. So let's say you want to apply for a cybersecurity graduate program. Instead of writing something like, my bank account got attacked or something like that, you can look online and look for some facts about cybersecurity that has been written by somebody else, like an authority in the cybersecurity space. This helps you make yourself different from every other person who has written something like something about what their grandmother did, something about what their grandfather did. So this is one of the ways to stand out. Your introduction has to have your intent, it has to have your motivation statement, it has to have the reason why you are applying for a graduate program, why you are applying for a particular program. Undergraduate program, graduate program. Your introduction has to have all of these things. Also, your introduction does not have to be too long. It does not have to be too long. When your introduction is too long, your reader gets tired of what you've written, even before going into the content of your statement of purpose. Your statement of purpose needs to have a catchy introduction. It needs to have the hook. When a fisherman goes to the river to catch a fish, what they use is the hook. So that is what you want your introduction to do. You want your introduction to catch the attention of the person reading your statement of purpose. Before they even go into the content, you want them to be interested in what you have to offer. You want them to be captivated by what you've written. So yeah, your introduction has to be concise, your introduction has to be detailed, your introduction has to be straight to the point and as short as can be. The next thing that I usually advise people to do is to write their academic background. Right in this section, write everything about your academics. If you have a bachelor's degree, write. If you're applying for a graduate program and you already have a bachelor's degree, write it here. In this section, write everything that is interesting about your academic exploit, anything that can support your application, the skills you've acquired that can be applied to what you're to the program that you're currently applying for. You want to add this to your academic background, because I tell you, they review everything, they read everything that you write, and they want to know that you have the basic academic requirements that they need. So anything that you've done in the past related to your academics that can be useful to your application, please by all means write it in this section. The third section that I usually tell people to write about, current job description. They want to know that you have practical experience. So your academic experience is like the theoretical part. They need to know that you have practical working experience, because it depends on what you are applying for. If you're applying for a PhD program, if you're applying for a master's program, you need practical working experience, especially if you're a scientist who would need to work in a lab, or you're a social scientist who needs to carry out original research, or whatever it is that you want to do. They can practicalize whatever it is that you've done in the past. So here, your skills are also very useful. If you have any job that you've done, write it there. If you have volunteered in any position, write it there. It is absolutely relevant. And if you don't have any job experience, maybe you just finished your undergrad and you're going directly into graduate school, there are so many ways that you can bring in your daily activities into your current job description. So let's say you like to play games online, you like to play mentally stimulating games online, games like puzzles, games like Sudoku, all those games that sharpen your mental ability. You also need to write it there. So say something like, in my leisure time, I play games like Scrabble, Sudoku. I have learned so and so skills from playing these games. You can bring in things from your day-to-day activities that you know that would be useful and useful to your application, and write them in your statement of purpose. They want to see all of those things. So yeah, the last thing in this structure is your conclusion. Every essay, every statement that you write, please make sure that it has an introduction and it has a conclusion. You just don't want to go straight into the point and tell the reader that this is what you're applying for. You need to have an introduction and have a conclusion. Write in your conclusion why you are applying to the school that you're applying to. Write in your conclusion why you're applying to the department you're applying to. And if you're applying for a PhD program, write in your conclusion the supervisors, the lecturers that you've picked out that would be helpful to you in your research pursuits. So in your conclusion, these are the things that need to be in your conclusion: why you're applying to the school, why you're applying to the department, why you're applying for the program that you're applying for, and the things that you've seen in the school that would be useful to you. If they have resources that you found in others in this school that they do not have in other schools, by all means write it in this section. If there are other things that you've also discovered about the department, about the lecturers, about the school, it could be anything as little as diversity, inclusion. Of course, you're an international student who is applying to a school outside of your comfort zone. Need a school with a strong inclusion and diversity statement. So if you have recognized this on their website, write it there and let them know that you're applying to the school because you find that the school is going to be comfortable for you to study at, and they render to international students. These are the things that you want to add in your statement of purpose. Also in your conclusion, let them know that you will do all you can to excel if you're granted the admission. It is always good to have this as your final sentence, because that's the last thing they would read before they drop your statement of purpose. So yeah, this is the easiest way to write a statement of purpose, and I would just give a recap right now of the structure that I have mentioned earlier. The first thing is your introduction. The second thing is your academic background. The third thing is your current job experience, your current work experience, and the last thing is your conclusion. If you found this video useful, please subscribe, like and share. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye.